speak into his life from the point of rebuke to the point of vision. David, sovereign king, but had enough sense to know there was a higher authority, and it was being spoken through the prophet. This is powerful. Look, there's only one king, and his name is Jesus. He's the Son that's talked about here. He's the one whose kingdom shall never end. He's the one who's on the throne of David. You know why David? Because David's throne was the most respected throne in Israel's history. He, to this day, was their hero. You know, in my opinion, one of the thing that demonstrated David's humility, and how David, except for that time he got stupid and allowed himself to... You want to know why David messed up? You want to know why he messed up? Let me tell you, it's real simple. When the kings had an appointed time to go out to battle, David stayed in the palace. And I want to tell you, whenever you get so big that you don't need the battlefield, that you're above the battlefield, there'll always be a Bathsheba waiting for you. I realize I'm talking to a lot of women here. I don't mean necessarily for you. But I'm talking here. Do you remember when David, he's hid away in a cave. They'd been in the heat of battle. And he's just thinking out loud. Oh, man. It would be so awesome to just have a drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem. David wasn't telling those men to go get that water. He was just oh man, wouldn't it just be good? Just one, you know, he's going back. He's in the heat of it. Just a fresh drink from that well. There's no water like that well. I remember growing up as a kid, we had a well. And I'm going to tell you, to this day, I've never found water that tasted that good. Just you know, oh, if I could just go back and have a drink of that water again. It was so awesome. These three men, mighty men of valor, the Bible says. You know who they were? They were misfits. They were discontented. They were in debt. And they were hiding in a cave also. And David gave them purpose. David put weapons in their hands, taught them how to use it, and they became the mighty men of valor. And they said, watch this, they heard their king. They didn't get an order. They just knew his heart. And with a passion and a desire to please their king, they put their life on the line. They went through the midst of the garrison of the Philistines just to get, what do they call those things? A skin of water, with the pouch of water. No telling the danger. And I can see them as they come back. They're tired. They maybe had to fight their way through. Who knows what they went through? They put their lives on the line just to give their king a drink of water. You know what David does? When he sees that water in his hand, he took the water and poured it out on the ground. Do you know why? Because he knew he wasn't deserving of that. David knew he wasn't the real king. He didn't pour that water out in disrespect. He poured that water out in honor of the king. There's only one that's worthy of that. That's a powerful picture. You know, do we have to see everything in a commandment to do it? Is there any Timothys? Not just this Timothy, but is there any Timothys in the house who even knew, because just a couple chapters earlier they're arguing over this circumcision issue, and it's declared it's not necessary anymore. Old covenant is not needed now. But then the apostle speaks into his life and he says, I want you to go do this. I want you to go do this. Timothy could have said, well, are you sure? You just made it clear. You ladies don't understand this, but the guys, we just had a debate over this. I mean, we got a word from God. The Apostle James had a word from God that stood and said, this isn't necessary. And now there was no indication that he even argued. He just submitted. You know why? Because the man that God had placed in his life, who was an umbrella and a covering, who had poured into him, he knew his heart. And there was a reason. And he trusted him. And he did it. Not because he was forced to do it. Not because it was letter black and white. Just simply because it was going to help the propagation of the gospel. It's the same attitude that was in that cave. Just because our King, I know it's his heart. Wonder what we would do if we just understood it was the heart of God and not something we had to feel forced. You know why God surrenders his will? Because he'll never force you. But don't ever be deceived in thinking because he doesn't kill you that he's approving. I remember I said to a person one time that I was in leadership of, I said, don't let my silence deceive you. Don't think that just because I'm silent about something and I don't get in some big argument with you over it, that I'm for what you're doing. Because I'm going to tell you what you know. You just know sometimes that you can talk until you're blue in the face. And people aren't going to do it. I have too much to live for. I don't have time to waste. While I'm here, I might as well go to this next point. I got a real strong rebuke from the Lord some time ago. It was a very strong rebuke. You know what he asked me? He said, why do you keep trying to exalt people I won't? And then what he said blew me out of the saddle. He said, I only exalt the humble, because only the humble can take promotion over time. And when a person, I'm going to tell you,